Welcome back to Cafe Artichoke. This is the final episode of the first video series, our spousal episodes. I hope you've enjoyed them. We'll come back because there's lots more. But today we have Rebecca Sanborn and Jai Tanzer.
Hi.
Welcome to Cafe Artichoke.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You have been on the podcast before.
A couple of times.
The last time you were really pregnant.
Really? Yes.
You were?
It was like, I hope it doesn't happen while you're here.
It could have.
Yeah.
It could have. Yeah, she was moving.
And that's been almost 2 years, right?
Yeah. 20 years, 200 years, seems long.
Nadia.
Nadia.
Nadia is her name.
She's 21 months old now.
Wow. Okay. We have a clip. Thank you. Courtesy of you guys. I want everybody to meet Nadia. Here we go.
She's a little musical being, for sure. Yeah.
Does she have a favorite instrument?
I don't know if she does.
I think it's the flute.
Oh, she had a flute. She had flute for a long time.
Really?
Yeah, she would kind of like flute. She'd say flute. She'd sort of do a flute dance.
Yeah.
Really like, you know.
And it's one of the few instruments we don't actually have on hand, but she would hear it and just go into this mesmerized.
She knows a lot of instruments. That's kind of cool. Mm-hmm. Somebody was driving with her yesterday, and they were listening to classical music, and she kept saying cello, violin when they would come in.
Wow.
Yeah, smart kid.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Now I remember you telling me that before she was born, she would react to Daddy's playing.
Yes.
Right.
Yes. She knew if it wasn't Jai. I felt like she knew if it wasn't Jai playing the drums. Yeah.
Wow.
Because she would move differently.
Yeah, and when she was born, for sure, she had loved the drums. I think that was probably her first, like, really.
Yeah.
Really?
She would just kind of rock out.
Wow.
Loved it. Yeah. Yeah, she's, like I said, she's a real musical kid.
Of course, this hasn't changed your life at all.
Not in the slightest. Yeah. It's for me, I don't know, maybe for you too, it's actually not that different. It's just a little bit more hectic.
I like your path description. You should tell Tom about that.
The way I kind of conceive of it, of having this kid, is sort of like I visualize it as like a paved sort of bike path with some low shrubs on either side that's just kind of endlessly going. And we were walking on this path for 17 years or something. And then suddenly we got down on our hands and knees, turned to the right, crawled through these bushes, and we discovered on the other side of these bushes there's another paved bike path that's the same as the other one, just different. It's a different path, but it's similar. So it's the same but different. That's the closest metaphor I could come up with.
All right.
I didn't say it was a good metaphor.
But you're still playing together, yes?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How many bands are you in now?
Together?
Together?
Yeah.
Really, just the two, I think. We were, before Nadia was born, we were doing the band Lac Le Monde, too. But it got a little bit too nuts. So Richie, the leader of that band, I think has kind of had other people do it.
They were doing long, like, European tours and things that we weren't able to jump on.
So it's still Blue Cranes and Swansea.
In Swansea.
Yeah, things that can be local. We kind of quit touring just at least for the time being.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For now.
Yeah, see where it leads us. But
Yeah.
as it turns out, maybe we missed an opportunity.
We did.
A couple people say that it's easier to travel with
Before they're mobile.
before they're mobile.
When they like just sleep all the time. That's when you're supposed to tour. But we were too tired for that.
Oh, yeah.
She must be pretty mobile now.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. She likes to help, though. Maybe we've got a roadie.
There
She
you
helped
go.
me load the drums in the car
that-
today.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, she was dragging my stick bag. Heavy. Yeah, that's right, kid. Don't you forget that.
So you were together 17 years before you had.
Is that right?
Wow.
We got together
In 2000.
in 2000,
Wow.
and she was born in 2017.
Yeah.
2018 was.
Yeah, 2018. Sorry.
Wow.
I'm bad at dates.
Me too.
So did you guys meet on a gig?
Kind of.
Yeah?
We were both playing at Suki's Steakhouse
Oh.
on odd nights.
Uh-huh.
And I went there. I had like a solo gig on Tuesday nights or something. And I was trying to get a little money out of Suki to hire like a bass player and a drummer and make it a band thing. So I was waiting around to talk to him before things got going. And Jai was subbing for, like, Ken Ollis was going to show up that night for
We had a band there called the Winning Team.
the winning team.
Which was all of us
Great name.
all these PSU guys,
Yeah.
that were in school at the time, and Ken mostly did it, but I did it a lot too.
Yeah.
And so it was, I think I was doing it that night, and at the time I didn't have a car, so I was taking the bus or getting rides with the drums.
Oh, gee.
And so I got there really, really early, and Rebecca was in there already waiting for Suki to get some more money.
And the bartender was a mutual friend and was like, do you guys know each other? You should know each other.
Yeah.
He was right.
Yeah.
It was a she, and she
Well,
was
she
right.
was right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it was.
Did you play that night?
No.
I stayed to watch some of the set, but then I had to get home. But I drove home and I wrote in my journal that I thought I'd met a friend that I would know the rest of my life.
Wow.
Because we talked for a couple of hours
Jeez.
before Suki. We were there like at 4 p.m. or something really early.
Yeah. That's so good.
It was neat. It was a deep conversation, and it was really...
It was instantaneous, the connection.
Right.
As a matter of fact, I went home to my roommates at the time, and I was like, actually Brandy, the bartender that introduced us, drove me home, because again, I didn't have a car, and my roommates all like, oh, Jai's getting a ride home from this lady, whatever. And they're, kind of ribbing me when I came in, and I was like, yeah, that's whatever. But man, I met this amazing, I was telling them about it, and they're like, oh yeah, whatever, they didn't understand. But it was pretty profound right away.
Wow.
I know what you mean. It was sort of like every kind of relationship combined into one.
Wow.
Yeah.
So when did you start? Do you remember the first time you played together?
Not the first time.
Probably in my parents' living room.
Oh.
Yeah.
Because Suki was like, I'm not going to give you money.
Oh.
You're doing your solo thing. No. And so you came to see me play and said, I told you my sad story, and you said, I'll play music with you for free.
Yeah, so I should say, on your Tuesday nights, after we talked, we had a lot of mutual music in common. Like, I knew right away that it was going to be good. But either the next week or the week after or something, whatever your next weekly was, I went to it, and it blew me away. I was like, yes, wow. A million times yes. So you could have asked me anything, and I would have said, I'm in. I'm 1,000% in. And it was great. And she would come and drive into Portland and.
From where?
At the time, I'd just moved home from college, so I was staying for a little bit at my parents' house in Wilsonville.
Wilsonville.
Way out.
Whoa.
But then eventually, we moved into an apartment together off of Belmont.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was really profound watching Rebecca in those early days. It was sort of like, for me personally, it was a coming together of everything that I loved.
Wow.
It was, and it taught me really how to play music. And I know I've told you that before, I don't want to put you on the spot, but a lot of what she did was really rubato, and not for any other reason other than it needed to be rubato to sort of make the songs work. So I had to sort of be like, well, how am I I'm a drummer, man, like a timekeeper. How do I really navigate that in the most eloquent way? And I watched you at least 2 or 3 weeks before even really getting a chance to play with you. I do recall that. And I realized it was all in the breath. Her phrasing was all surrounded where she was breathing, where that's kind of the vehicle for what made her music go. So I would sit there, okay, she's breathing there, all right, you know, like taking notes, trying to figure out how to make it work. And immediately, like instantly, like friends that saw us play together, they're like, oh, yeah, it all makes sense now. And it felt that way on stage too.
Well, we really appreciate that you're going to play some stuff for us today. And this will be the first time we've used the stage for our podcast. So through the magic of you haven't done it yet, tell us what you're going to play.
A couple of songs from our group Swansea. So it's quite a departure from the rubato days. We are in time. We are with transferred from the acoustic piano to, I have a couple of keyboards. The first song, Star Guards, we're going to play. Kind of written after a great big giant painting my friend Heidi Elise Wirtz made. Called
Well, and what's it called?
Star Guards.
All right.
It's a good thing you are here. It's a good thing you are here. I don't wanna be alone right now. I don't wanna be alone at all. I don't wanna be alone. Put your arms about my ribs, please. Put your arms around my ribs. Can you feel me shaking now? Can you feel the rattle of my bones? Can you feel me shake? All I want is to feel you close. All I want is to feel you holding. It's 3 a.m. and I cannot sleep. It's 3 a.m. and I cannot sleep. They say that time heals all wounds. I say that time takes its own. We don't talk about the here and now. We don't talk about the god awful mess. We don't talk about the pain. 1, 2, 3, counting sheep. 3, 2, 1, dissing all the blessings. Maybe you don't wanna hear this now. Maybe you don't wanna hear this at all. Maybe you don't wanna know that I'm afraid I did it all wrong. I'm afraid just like the others, just like the others. And the morning will come like all the rest. But I'm thankful for the pressure of your arms about my shaking chest. You are my star goddess. You are my star goddess. May I be your star goddess. You are my star goddess. Star
Well, thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
I can't wait to hear the next one. And I can't wait to hear you talk about it because I stopped you. Sorry about that.
It's okay. Jump in the gun.
It must be there must be some change. I know you're not touring, but since the baby came along, is there any change in the music at all?
Gigging for me has slowed down a little bit, although it's picking up now. And that was okay, and like appropriate, and felt all right to have some space.
Yeah.
Although we were still, doing rehearsal. We do rehearsals at our house. That works the best. The bands come over. She goes to bed. She's a good sleeper. We just
Lucky you.
very lucky.
Yeah.
And so we play, and she'll just sleep through it.
Yeah, I think
That's been good.
I think on a musical level, I haven't really noticed much change. Certainly scheduling is bonkers.
Yeah.
That's like a whole other, that's easily the hardest component. But musically, I sort of feel like it's had, like, just because of lack of time, slowed down. And admittedly, we have to have a little bit less focus on it because we're trying to grow a being.
Yeah.
But I think overall it's kind of the same.
Just now that you're talking, I'm realizing in this moment there's a big, huge internal change that I don't think I've really
Well, let's hear
words
about
to.
it.
Let's hear it. Yeah.
So
Boy,
the internal change, my big aha moment.
you can leave the 150 for the therapy.
Right. At the door.
What's my cut?
The gigs just mean more to me. I think that it was not, I don't want to say that it was becoming a grind, but just kind of old hat. And like, it's another gig. And now it has this whole like aura of some like freedom for me. Like, I'm going to go out and be able to linger and talk to my friends and have my attention solely on conversation and musical experience without interruption, and that it's kind of priceless. And I really cherish just like even like driving away from the house and like having all the like social interaction and like the magic of a set of music and the changes that it works on the people that watch you and the band. I'm experiencing it. It feels more enriching. I'm being more enriched by it than before, I think.
Awesome. Wow.
I think that might be a product of any time. It sort of means like little moments like that are more rich, just in general, not necessarily just music. At least for me.
Yeah. Away from the like umbrella of parenthood.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
And also getting to like hang out with you.
Yeah.
Just us.
Yeah.
It's like it's really because we don't really date. We don't go out together because when we do, we're working. We play music together.
Right.
So those are our like date nights, our show nights.
Sure. Yeah. That's absolutely correct. Yeah. Well, I guess we're gonna have another date now.
Yeah.
Oh, excellent.
Yeah.
Well, I've got to ask you something because it's my job. Okay. Is there going to be another Blue Cranes album?
Yeah. Yeah, we have one.
Yes.
Finished. Yeah.
And when is it out?
We're not sure.
I know. I've been hearing that for years.
Yeah.
It's like the next Blue Cranes album and the Andrew Durkin Quadrophones album are the two albums that people have been waiting for years.
Yeah.
Well, I'll say this: it's tricky releasing music now.
Oh, I know.
Yeah, you know. We've talked with a few labels. We had one sort of lined up for its release, and that sort of has fallen through, I think. So, and just how to release music is a harder question to answer. There are more platforms for it, but you have to be a little bit more strategic if you want anybody to ever hear the stuff. So, I'll make sure to have Nadia sign a copy for you when it comes out, okay?
Oh, right. Because she'll be able to read and write by then.
Which is like 35.
Right.
Here it is.
Point taken.
I mean, it's really when I talk to any of the quadrophones, it's almost a joke by now about the Durkin album. You know, I mean, both of them have had albums out, you know, that weren't that album, but that album just.
Yeah. Ours, it's done now. It's mixed, and it'll be interesting. It's a singer's record.
Really?
Every song has a different singer on it. It features singers, and it's bizarro.
Do you sing on it?
No, but Rebecca does.
I have one song.
Yeah, Rebecca sings a beautiful thing that she wrote. Reed, I think did that work out where Reed sang?
Reed sings on one.
Yeah. The alto saxophone.
And Joe does too.
Joe does.
He's part of the.
John and I, we don't, you know, we'll leave that to the front people.
It's such a thorough departure from everything that we've done
it's really
that
different.
it is kind of that like, well, what do you do with this now? Yeah. So we're actually going back into the studio to record an instrumental album in January. Who knows? Chances are that album is going to come out before the singer's record does. But we're forging ahead with a lot of new music, and
we knew going in too with the singer's record that it was going to be a little bit of a pitfall in terms of, you know, collaboration with so many people. Like some people are going to want to write the lyrics. Some people aren't going to want to have anything to do with it until they get into the studio and sing. You know, every song was going to be a little bit different. And so we knew it was going to take some time, but it's done. It's just a matter of getting it released now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks for asking.
You know, obviously, that the people who love the band have been waiting for a long time.
Well, that's good to hear.
Well, it's true.
Yeah.
So, and what about Swansea?
Yeah, we have started recording the next record.
Yeah?
Yeah, we have.
Then we had a baby.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I heard about that.
Yeah.
And things, we keep thinking, okay, let's skit, and it just doesn't happen.
Yeah, it's tricky carving out the time because really our only time is after she goes to bed at 8:30.
Wow.
And by that time we're toast, you know.
Well, 6 nights out of the week we have other things booked during that time.
Sure.
So
it's just tough. We'll get around to fixing it, or finishing it, I should say.
yeah.
I'm excited about it. Starguard's the song that we just played will be on it.
Yeah.
I guess Give It Up, the other song, which
That will be on it.
that'll be on it. I really like the material on the new one. Every record that we've put out has been kind of different. The very first thing we did, Old Blood, was sort of more cinematic.
Very more singer-songwriter-y.
Yeah.
And, yeah.
And then
Had a more of an
Flaws,
acoustic feel.
our second record, was really kind of had a lot of LCD sound system influence, kind of lo-fi.
Partly, yeah, us like
Dancey.
leaning in that direction.
This one is going to sound like 1,000% Rebecca Sanborn. Which is a good thing.
Wow.
No!
Whoa.
Really? You think so?
Yeah, why not?
Or you're just teasing?
I love to tease.
Yeah. No. I think it's its own like new personality coming out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would agree with that, and that personality happens to be Rebecca Sanborn. No. Well, I say that in kind of jest, but I mean it. Rebecca's an incredible writer, and I will never stop shouting that off the top of the hill. Really unique and combines a lot of the things that I really love about song. Mm-hmm. And
is there a difference in approach when you're recording a Blue Cranes from when you're recording a Swansea?
Approach.
Yeah, I mean, do you go about it in a different way, or
in the past we've recorded Blue Cranes mostly live.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
With Swansea, we've really layered it. It's sort of like we'll focus on drums first, and then do keyboards and.
There's some scratch tracks to
Mm-hmm.
everyone can go along with.
And the music lends itself to being recorded that way. Blue Cranes was, at least in years past, has been really built on interaction and kind of the nuance that comes with that. And there's really no way to do that unless you're doing it all at once, doing it live. Yeah. And with us, it was more crafted about kind of songs.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Also, we were limited, like the last 2 records that we've recorded, and some of the new stuff, we did it at our house. Mm-hmm. So it was very limited in terms of scope, 4 channels, 6 channels
engineered
maybe.
For each other.
So there's just really no way to record live, especially given that sound environment. So that has a limitation. Blue Cranes, we've done it in studios, and we might actually end up doing the new Swansea stuff in a studio, but see. That's a good question.
When you played, when the Blue Cranes played Jack London, didn't you open for Wayne Horvitz?
We have, yeah.
Yeah.
We've also played with Wayne as sort of like a featured artist.
That was at the Jazz Festival.
Yeah, a few years back.
Yeah, a few years back. Right. I interviewed Wayne because I always interview Wayne before that Jack London gig, and he loves you guys.
We love him.
We love him.
And what? I don't know. I don't. Nobody cares about this. This is for me. Okay. What is it that the similarities between the two bands, his band and your band?
I feel like.
You can go away. This is just for me.
With Wayne kind of has a similar thing where a lot of his compositions, these solid pieces of composition that move towards improvisational interaction or playing free, and then move back into his compositional construct. So I feel like he moves through tunes in a similar way that we do as a band.
Yeah, he also, we should point out that he has a lot of ensembles that do lots of different things.
Yeah, that's for sure.
We've mostly just played with Sweeter Than the Day, his sort of more jazzy ensemble.
One show with Zoni Mash at Goodfoot.
Zoni Mash.
Did Zoni Mash.
That was fun.
And the Snow Ghost thing, I think, was the last
The
time.
Zoni show, we got a little more wild too, we responded in kind, I think, to that.
The funny thing is that many of his bands had the same people in them.
Right, sure.
Tim
Young.
Yeah.
I will say this about Wayne is he has a really strong sense of melody.
Oh yeah.
And that's one thing that, again, in at least years past, some of the Blue Cranes music has really tried to focus on melodic contour and such. So I think we even played one of Wayne's tunes for a long time called Love, Love, Love.
Oh yeah.
Sweeter Than Today song.
Great song.
And maybe that's even how we got connected with Wayne in the first place.
Could be.
We asked him for the music or something.
And he has great hats.
Oh yeah, he's a hat guy.
We have had many discussions about that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Nobody recognizes him if he goes out without his hat.
It's the opposite, right?
Yeah.
You're supposed to put on a hat to get anonymity, but it's the other way around.
Yeah.
Well, you're a hat guy too. I don't think I'd recognize you if
It's weird. I hardly recognize myself.
In the mirror.
Well, I've stopped looking in the mirror. It'll happen to you.
Oh, look, we're well on our way, believe
I
me.
think it already has.
Kids.
Yeah.
Well, what are you going to send us out with?
This tune is called "Give It Up," and the impetus for writing it was there was a new music concert that a friend, Steve Hefter, was curating at Waypost.
Also from Baltimore.
Yeah, it's a really low pressure thing, and I thought, well, I'll just sit down in my little Yamaha and come up with a couple new songs, so I did it as like a solo thing. Although, did you play sampler with me?
I just played the sampler.
Yeah, so it was nothing. It was like me sitting on a bench with a tiny Yamaha and jive,
I think
just the sampler.
You wrote it that day, and we played it that night.
Yeah, that was it.
Yeah.
So I was like really like crushing the lyrics on the drive down because I didn't want to forget them. But it's sort of the seedlings. Like, as I was writing the song, I often, like when I'm writing a song, the words and the music come together, and it's a little bit of a right to find out situation. I very rarely have a story in mind. I'll like find a tonal center or chords or a pattern that I like, and then images will come, and I am describing what I see as I write. And this seemed to, this song is still a little mysterious to me, but it seems to me in some aspects to be about gay people in the military, and what they have to face or come up against.
Wow.
Or hide behind, or so it felt particularly brutal in some aspects, but also powerful and sorrowful, and but that's just a touching on some of it. The rest, I still don't quite know what it's about, but maybe it'll unfold over time. I don't know.
It'll tell you.
Yeah, and I think too, in some ways, I like songs like that because there's this openness of interpretation. There's enough specifics in the lyrics that you can I have something I can grasp onto, but then if other people have their interpretation, perfect. Have that story. Each listener have their own story for the song.
And the name of the tune is?
Give It Up.
Give It Up. Thank you for coming in here.
Thanks for having us.
This has been terrific. Nice to see you.
Yeah.
And so let's listen to the last tune.
All right.
You go left, 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 right, left. I'm going right. You said I was right. They said I was right. But what is left? My blood is up. It feels good. I wanna call you tonight. There was a note left on the hood, still warm from the drive. The engine ticks and it talks, which is more than I can say. For the boys without their beers, unless you send me away. For the horse in the stable, they've been there all week. It's getting hot, but I'm able to feed all of your beasts. I don't need this, I don't need them, I don't need you, but I got my papers, my walking papers, but I'm a sucker for a taunt. Give it up, give it up. We both know it's a losing fight. Give it up. It's not worthy of you. And besides, you said I was right. I was right. When I get you alone, what do I get for my pain? I bet you thought I would go home I bet it never even crossed your mind that I would stay. It isn't fair the way they dote upon your rank, upon your class. They wouldn't know a wolf in sheep's clothes if it came up and bit them on the ass. You got your closet, you keep me in. You got your barn, you keep them safe. You got your favor and your medal, but I ain't nothing that you can break. Give it up, give it up. We both know it's a losing fight. Give it up, give it up. When they've got you